Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Catrice, the creator behind Catrice Designs. In today's video, we are going to do a complete tour of my craft room. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to start at the beginning of the door. So as you come into the craft room, this is what you see. And I'm going to do a slow pan around the room, hopefully not making you too dizzy. And then this brings us back to the entrance of the door. Okay, so we're going to start over here in this corner, which is what I call my embroidery zone. And this is where I set my Baby Lock Alliance. It is a single needle embroidery machine. And then she just sits on this little table that I got out of Amazon. And in the back here, I keep my scissors that I use for embroidery only. And then I got this where I keep my needles, stick pins in, and this is just extra thread. And then here on this section, I keep just a clipboard and one of these little vinyl folders, pouches that I got out of Hobby Lobby. And these are, I just started subscribing to the Kimberbell, what is that? The Bella Box. And I started last year in April. So these are the first two pins that I've got from them. So I just keep those stuck right there. And then we're back over here to the wall with the embroidery machine. And this is a lamp that I got out of IKEA. And in this little box here, I keep some webbing. And then I have my zippers that I keep here. And also zippers here. These are the longer ones. And this is just some embroidery tape and heat press tape. So under the embroidery machine, I store all of my 12 by 12 paper pads. So that's what these 6 bins hold. And then under here is, and this box is empty, but this one I keep planner supplies in here and in here. And then those are just some more 12 by 12 paper pads. So coming back up to the top, sitting right next to the embroidery machine, over here I have, these are IKEA pegboards. And I just keep my ribbon here, and then some lace here, and some little wooden sticks. And then this is a heat press pad that I use when I'm heat pressing. And this is the HTV automatic up and down heat press. And then right under this table, which is similar to the one that the embroidery machine sits on, I keep this little 3-tier box, some embroidery thread. This is the Madeira. And embroidery thread, this is the Isa cord. And this is just some generic off of Amazon type embroidery thread. And then right under here, I've just got some little pouches that I store. And then here are my regular paper cutting scissors. And then I've got some scraper tools, glue, memory keepers, little short cutting pad, some scrap paper. And under the table, I have, here is just a wicker basket. I think I got this out of, I want to say Home Goods, I believe. But this is where I store my fleece batting. I've got some webbing in here. And these are just fusible scraps that I have. And I'm going to try and sit you all down right here until I put this back. And then here on this side, this is where I keep my Cricut nut press and then the HTV tumbler press. So I keep that there, and I keep it covered up just to keep dust from getting on it. And then right next to the heat press machine, we're going to move over to this unit that I got off of Amazon. And on top of it is where I store my iPad and laptop. In the first bin, it's just scrap fabric that I use when I want to test out some stitches, and then some little hoops. And then this is some stabilizer, and I bought a box of pre-wound bobbins, but my embroidery machine didn't like that thread, so I just keep it stored here. And this is some more stabilizer. This is some water-soluble stabilizer. And in here, this is some embroidery fabric, glitter fabric. And in here, I keep a, what is this thing called? A laser light that I use when I'm quilting. It helps me keep my lines straight. And this drawer has all of my, oops, sorry about that. This drawer has all of my Kimberbell projects in that are waiting for me to start on. This is the Christmas collection. And this is the scraps from the projects that I have finished. And in here, I just keep my Madeira fat thread manual samples, what I'm trying to say. So basically, it looks like this. Oops. Like this, and it just has all the thread colors, and so you can kind of see how they look before you buy them. And then my baby lock manual is under there. This cord came with the baby lock machine, and then this is a little manual that I created to keep my maintenance logs in. And that's that for that machine. One thing I forgot to show you over here, and we'll go back to it, is under this, where the baby lock sits, right under it, is where I store my mighty hoops. I only have two. So this one, which is a 8x8, and this is a 5x5. So I just kind of store those under there to keep them out of the way. And that is it for the sewing section. So coming over here to this is a built-in bookcase. This is where I keep ribbon and fabric stored. This printer is the Sawgrass SG1000, and my Singer sewing machine is here. And in this drawer, I keep my, what is this? This is heat vinyl, Tech Wrap. Well, I'm trying to think of the brand. So this is Tech Wrap vinyl, HTV. And this is off-brand, different brand HTV. And the same thing in this drawer. Right above the sublimation printer, which is what this is, I just got a pink tray that I put paper in. These two bins contain Kimberbell projects that came with the boxes that I need to get started on. And here I just use this little Lazy Susan to store ribbon in. And I just kind of throw them in there by color. These two boxes are empty. This has fabric scraps, and this is where I store my camera supplies in these two. And I've got a Cricut heat press right there in the middle, and these two top bins up there at the top are empty. Okay, so now we're gonna head to, that is the closet, and here I've got the TV above. Oh, you can see me on the screen. So I've got the TV up there. This is a dresser where I store extra fabric and vinyl. So we'll just start at the top drawer. So here I have my Tech Wrap, just regular Tech Wrap vinyl, and I store that here. And in this is where I store the scrap pieces. And some more tech wrap vinyl in this drawer. And then this is just fabric that I have in here. And this drawer has just blanks. I also do t-shirts as well. So I keep a lot of extra t-shirts in this drawer. And in here is just a lot of different types of blanks. Okay, so that is the dresser unit that sits next to the closet. So now we're going to go to this tall dresser unit. So at the top, I have these little 3 cases. They're just there for decoration. I got those off of Amazon. And right under that is my Ohuhu markers, which is this and this, except for this row here are Stampin' Up! Markers. From here to here are Copics, and these are some generic markers. And then this is my paper that I use when I'm making cards. And this little thing holds my stamp chamois in there for when I'm making cards. And this is my pink label maker. And this box has the tools for the label maker. This just has paper scraps in it, and this is empty. This wood unit I got from IKEA. So in the bottom drawer is where I house all of my embellishments when I'm making cards. So that goes in there. And then this one is just little adhesives is in this drawer. And this is just paper sheets that I've cut up when I'm making cards. This drawer has same thing, paper scraps and paper. And then here I store just some candles for my candle holder over there. And in this container, if I can get it out with one hand, this container is where I house my acrylic stamps. And then, let's go back kind of slow. Right under there is where I keep my spell binders. I've got the pink slim one, the wide one, and then I keep the plates in the back there, if you can see back there. And then this unit here, I believe I got this unit, I think I got this one on Amazon. And then I keep my yarn right here. So let's go into this. We'll go into the drawers for this unit. So can I bring y'all up some? There we go. Okay. So the top drawer is where I just store, I kind of call it my pink drawer. It's where I store everything that I use when I'm making cards. So I've got my little acrylic stamp thingies and that, and just a lot of little odds and ends for card making. And then here is where I keep baby wipes I use when I'm cleaning my acrylic stamps. This is a gun tag holder thing. And this right here is one of those objects that turn when you're taking pictures or filming videos of your tumblers. You can plug this in and it'll spin the tumbler around. Oh, and then this is one of those crock punches that you use when you're rounding corners of cards. And then here is where I store my Misty. I put my Misty stamp positioner in there. And I've got a mini score buddy. And a mini We Are Memories, oh my gosh, paper cutter. My mind went blank. And then this is a hole punch for my planners. Let's put that back in. So I put that. Okay, and then in this next drawer, can't even get it open. This is where I store my stamps, some more stamps, actually, acrylic stamps. I just keep those in a folder, and then also here. I got to think of a way to organize my stamps a little better than what I do. And here is just some extra paper that I've cut and didn't need to use it at the time. So I just keep it stored there. And then we already saw where I keep the yarn. So this dresser unit brings us back over to the door that we came in. And behind the doors, I just used that to hang some bags on. And then I keep my Cricut and one of my silhouette cameo cutting mats there. Just got a sign that says happiness is homemade. And this little press for champagne. I got that out of Hobby Lobby. And then I have my Canon printer. I keep it there. And then right under that, so this desk unit here came from IKEA. And I've got 2 drawer units on each end of it. So we will start with the top. And in here is just where I keep some brushes, pens, this is kind of like my junk drawer for the craft room. So a little bit of everything is pretty much in here. And then this drawer is where I keep some embellishments. I love these little containers. This is where I store different embellishments in there when this is what I use when I'm card making. And this is more embellishments that I also use when I am card making. Got all of that. That and that. Now this drawer, I'm almost scared to open. This is a hot mess. So this is a little bit of everything. Ribbon, yarn, sticky back tape, zipper tape. This is kind of another catch-all junky drawer. I have got to get that organized one of these years. Okay, and then under here is where I keep my buttons, snaps. This is the cam snaps. I've got the regular size, which is this, and then the extra long ones, which is in that box. And then these are just some key ring holders and some flowers. Okay, so that is that drawer that sits under the printer. Now, we'll just stay down here on the floor since we're down here. So under the desk is where this bin is where I store fabric in that I'm going to be working on upcoming projects that you'll see in some future videos. And here is 2 cutting mats that I really don't use that much anymore. I've got some fleece and some more fusible fleece back there. And this little thing here is, I use this with my Mighty Hoops. It helps me to position things on shirts that I'm making a little bit better. And this is just where I store my cellophane bags. And in this bin is where I store all of my scrap stabilizer. This is my recyclable trash bin. So I guess we'll come on top of the dresser. So right next to the printer is another dresser unit, shelf unit that I have. So on top, and then here, this is a Kimberbell project, that one of the projects that I did finish. And basically it's just a leather box that says, my camera is not focusing. But anyway, it says fabric is my favorite color. And it's a cute little leather bin. There's a candle, a little picture that I made. In this bin is where I keep my bobbin thread. So what I do is I buy these containers off of Amazon. And I just wind the thread on the bobbin. And I just keep them stored in here. And I use these sticks when I'm trying to turn corners on things. Okay, so this is where I store my sewing machine accessories in it, and it's just all of that in there. And then this box here, I got this out of Hobby Lobby 1 year, and in it is where I store my needle punch supplies. So that's where that goes. And then right under this shelf is where, oops, sorry for the noise. Under this shelf is where I keep my little Oliso, I think that's how you pronounce it, mini iron. And I keep, this is a little thing that kind of keeps me sewing straight. And then I keep my clips here and that. And this little rope bowl, I made that myself. So that goes there. And then I keep my thread. This is for the Singer sewing machine. So I keep that there. And here on top is just some little gadgets that I've got up on top. And then coming down is where I keep my We Are Makers heavy duty paper cutter. And I love this machine, so it'll cut, you can put a stack of paper in, it'll just slice it like butter. And right under here is, we'll see if I can position you all good enough. Okay, so this is another IKEA unit, and this is the other end of the desk. So in the top is where I keep my, whoops, okay, try not to make you too dizzy, silhouette supplies and the Cricut supplies. And then this is the cord to the silhouette machine. That's what's in there. And then here is where I keep my sticker paper. I use the Koala brand glossy sticker paper for inkjet printers. And in here is just paper that I use when I'm making cards. And this is more paper. And the last drawer at the bottom is where I, store my laminate paper. Now over here I have a 3-shelf bookcase in this corner right up against the wall. I've got the Cricut on top. This is the Cricut Explorer Air 2 on top. This picture I got out of Hobby Lobby. And that's the Cricut. And then this is the Cameo, which I use mostly. And then under there I've got the this is the cinch machine. And then the Spellbinders foiling system is right here. And this here is where I keep my supplies. These are just blank tumblers in glass jars. Right here is where I keep my paper that I use when I'm doing sublimation. And then we saw this. It's just the recycle bin that I use when I'm throw my paper scraps in there. So bring you back up and around. So this just gives you an idea of how this side of the room looks, which is kind of where I call my sewing / paper side of the room. So now we're going to look at my craft table. So this table unit is just a piece of board that I got, that I purchased at, I think I was Lowe's, yeah. I had Lowe's to cut, the dimensions for me. And then I bought some contact paper off of Amazon and put it on top. And these 2 bookcases came out of, I think Walmart, Target or Walmart, one of them. So on this end of the craft table, this is where I keep all of my jump making supplies. So when I'm painting and I've got a glue gun in here, a heat thing, and yeah, just a lot of stuff in there. So that's what's in that bin. Under here is just a piece of fabric that I use when I cut it up in sections when I want to test out thread or test out a embroidery stitch. Here is where I store my extra fabric as well. It's in there. And then right next to that one at the bottom is where I keep my Stampin' Up stamps. I don't really use much of Stampin' Up products anymore, but this is the stamps that I have. And then here is where I store my odd size paper, like 6x6 paper pads. That is what I store in there. And then this is just some coil that I use when I'm making binders. So I just store that there. And now that brings us to the top of the desk. This pink thing here is the arc mount that I use when I'm filming. And then I've got the my cutting mat, which is the Creative Grids cutting mat. And then over here on this side, I've got a lamp that I got out of Hobby Lobby, pin, fan, a little plant, and I keep my Kimberbell jump drive there, and another one, just got that. And I keep this little pad right here, which is what I use to write down things that I want to do for the day. So that is the craft table. And then right under it, I have another bookcase. So can I park you right here? Okay, so under the top drawer, I have these little two wooden boxes, just got paper scraps in them. And these are just numbers for when I'm making cake tops. That's what that is. And same thing there, and same thing in there. I've got some business cards there. These two things here are empty. This is my pouches for my camera mic supplies. This bin here is empty, but here is where I have more of my cutouts for when I'm doing cake toppers. And on the next shelf, I have my planners that I'm using currently. These are journals. This is a desktop vacuum. I've got some notepads in the back, and then I have my this, and then 3 other journals. Planners. I keep saying journals. This is this is one of those I forgot what you call this. But anyway, it's I've been trying to finish this since the summer of last year. I have not gotten a chance to it, but that's sitting there. And under it, I keep my sublimation paper. And over here are some dies that I store. I keep them in here. And these are just some stickers that I make for my planners that I use. And then okay, so this is the middle part of the desk. That's what sits there. And then on the other end of the desk right here, this is where I keep my Silhouette Cameo cutting mats. I keep them hanging there. And here I have planners. These are jars, some tumbler supplies, and more planners. And yeah, that's it back there. All right, so that is the complete tour of my craft room. So I hope I didn't get you guys too dizzy, but we'll just take another pan around. So this is, I have a chair that goes right here at the craft table, but it's sitting outside the door so that I would have room to walk around the table while I'm filming. But here is where I sit, and then just going around the room is that. And that brings us around here. Oh, I didn't go inside the closet. Okay, we'll do that next. Completely forgot. So there's the built-in bookcase, and back over to the sewing section, and then back to the embroidery machine. Okay, so let's head over here to the closet. I'm almost scared to open it because it is really junky. All right, so let's step back a little bit. Okay, so here is the closet. And then coming in at the top up there, all of that is just extra storage containers. And then here is just binders and junk and junk and junk. So these are binders. These are my Kimber Bell and quilting binders. And then just a lot of stuff over there. And I really have to get this closet organized a little bit better. These are some extra journals. This is my Cricut mini heat press. And storage. And then towards the floor. This unit here is just has things like washi tape. Well, I guess I could start at the top. This is my scale that I use to weigh my product right before shipping them out. And then this is just the Shopify chip that I use when I'm doing markets. Some paper towel. This is planner, extra planner supplies are in there. And these are just some clear storage pouches. This is a big thing of foam that I purchased, but it was too thick for the projects that I was trying to use it for. And under here are mugs that I've made. These are what I take to markets. So in this unit here, I've got another little junk drawer. Just got pens and stuff in it. This is washi tape, pens, tape measures. This is a last year's planner. I've got envelopes in here and just extra random things in here. Another drawer with extra randomness. These are the wheels that go on, I think, one of the bookcase units that I purchased. These are some notebooks that I was playing around with. I made these and really didn't like the way it turned out, so I just kind of got them sitting in there. And then these are notepads. And what's this? Oh, these are some old Stampin' Up manuals in there. Little rings, and this is just like a little paperweight shoe thingy. Here is where I keep my paint. And this is just a box of things that I've made, tried out. Same thing there. These are wood stamps that I don't use anymore. I keep this being paper scraps is here and here. And then this is a green cutting board. This is a cutting board, and this is a cutting board. And then this is the Cricut light that I have here. I only pull it out when I getting ready to use it. And then on the back is a laminator back there. This is a We Are Makers envelope thing here. And that is that for the junky closet. So we'll just close that back up. And okay, so coming around the closet, and then we are back to, I had this in, if you look back on my channel, I think my first video was a cleanup video. This craft table was on this wall, but I like it better over here. So, and I just recently made this change, maybe about a week ago. So then it takes us back to where we started at the front door. At the front door. The door to the craft room. Okay, everybody, that concludes the tour of my craft room. I hope you enjoyed watching. And if you have any questions about anything, want to know where I purchased any of the items, just leave me a comment below, and I will see you in the next video.